Have you ever faced a decision so incredibly overwhelming that it just completely paralyzed you? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a legendary moment of absolute crisis and explore the profound, really cosmic analysis hidden inside a great warrior's sudden mental breakdown. Just imagine standing at the precipice of the most important battle of your entire life, only to realize that your absolute worst enemy in that moment is your own overwhelming grief. We're looking at a classic ancient text that captures this exact scenario. We're going to break down this hero's sudden paralysis, looking at the exact wording and the deep philosophy that explains why human compassion sometimes violently collides with cosmic duty.
So, here's our roadmap. We'll be covering 1. The battlefield of relatives. 2. Overwhelmed by compassion. 3. The cost of victory. 4. Material attachment and fear. 5. The meaning of Govinda. And finally 6. The transcendental perspective. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The battlefield of relatives. This really sets the stage and brilliantly illustrates the sheer weight of his dilemma. I mean, he isn't just facing off against a bunch of nameless, faceless enemies. Arjuna looks across the front lines and sees his own grandfathers, Bhisma and Somadatta. He sees the literal teachers who trained him, guys like Dronacharya and Kripacharya. He sees his maternal uncles, his friends, his well-wishers. Basically, everyone he genuinely respects and loves is suddenly arrayed in military formation right across from him.
Which brings us to Section 2, Overwhelmed by Compassion.
Notice the specific phrasing used here. He doesn't just feel a quick twinge of regret, right? The text says he is utterly overwhelmed with compassion. It's this complete, devastating flood of emotion. Every single type of social and familial bond he's ever formed in his life is suddenly on the line, ready to be literally severed by his own weapons.
And so this isn't just sadness. It's a profound, debilitating weakness of mind born from pure shock. He literally says, "I am now unable to stand here any longer." His mind is reeling. He is entirely forgetting himself because the sheer psychological weight of the moment has completely shattered his composure.
Section 3. The Cost of Victory. Look at the underlying logic he's applying here. To him, wealth and victory literally mean absolutely nothing if he has to slaughter his own family to get them. It's a deeply poignant question, honestly. What is the point of a kingdom? What's the point of material enjoyment? Or heck, even staying alive, if the very people you actually want to share that happiness with are the exact ones you have to kill to achieve it?
He then escalates this refusal dramatically. He isn't just rejecting an earthly kingdom at this point. He says he wouldn't fight his relatives even if he were offered universal dominion over the three worlds. That's how incredibly deep-seated and entrenched his refusal to fight has become.
Section 4. Material attachment and fear.
To really understand his mental state here, we have to look at the Sanskrit word nimitta. When we foresee only the exact opposite of what we actually want, and all our expectations are completely frustrated, we fundamentally start to question our purpose. Arjuna looks into the future, sees a victory that's going to feel utterly hollow, and essentially asks, "Why am I even standing here?"
Now, this is a massive paradigm shift in the text. His breakdown isn't just empathy, it's actually rooted in excessive material attachment. Think about our own lives for a second. When we get hyper-focused on our own potential loss or lamentation, our self-interest totally clouds our higher sense of duty. Fearfulness and that loss of mental equilibrium we saw earlier, those are symptoms of being way too affected by temporary material conditions, which ultimately makes us disregard the supreme self in favor of our own self-interest.
Let's move to Section 5, The Meaning of Govinda.
Throughout this crisis, he repeatedly calls out the name Govinda, and by invoking this specific name, he's subtly revealing a desire for his own senses to be satisfied. But the text does this brilliant flip here. Govinda translates to the object of all pleasures for the senses. So Arjuna is inadvertently highlighting exactly what will actually satisfy his desires in this moment of extreme discomfort. This brings up a really fascinating comparison. Materially speaking, we so often want the divine to basically act as a cosmic order supplier, just to satisfy our own demands. But the devotional approach is the exact opposite of that. When we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, rather than our own, that grace automatically satisfies us in return. It's a complete top-to-bottom inversion of how we normally approach our desires.
And finally, Section 6. The Transcendental Perspective.
Here is a super profound psychological truth. Part of his compassion on that battlefield is actually just a material calculation.
I mean, it's human nature. We all want an audience to share our success with, right? Arjuna fears winning because there will literally be no one left to applaud him or enjoy the spoils of war with him. His fear isn't solely about their deaths, it's also heavily about his own subsequent loneliness.
So, a typical material calculation bases the value of victory on our own social circle. But a transcendental life operates completely differently. In that worldview, opulence is accepted only if it can be used for a higher divine service. If it's not for that higher purpose, it's just rejected completely. That's the core duality we're dealing with today.
Even though Arjuna desperately wants to excuse his relatives, cosmic justice is already fully in motion. And here is the ultimate twist. While a devotee might willingly excuse personal wrongs done to them, the cosmic will absolutely does not tolerate mischief. Arjuna was positioned there to be the instrument of that higher justice, whether he actually realized it in that paralyzed moment or not. Which leaves us with this final, truly unforgettable question to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. When human compassion directly conflicts with a higher cosmic duty, which one truly prevails? Arjuna's complete breakdown on the battlefield forces us to take a hard look at our own attachments, our expectations of victory, and whether our compassion is sometimes just our own self-interest wearing a clever disguise. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey today. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.